morning. Does anyone else have to go to the bathroom with their toddler or baby? She's not a toddler yet. Don't grow up that fast, Luce. It's really early. 7:19 and it's too early for me. But I feel like she usually gets up around 7, so I don't know why I'm not used to this, but I just maybe went to bed too late last night and I'm feeling it. But oh, she does this thing where she like coughs. She like pretend coughs and then I pretend cough like I don't know, she's not doing it right now, but and then she laughs and it's so cute. I don't know why, but like the last 4 or 5 nights she's been getting up like 6 to 7 times up at night, and I don't know why. Like she's 9 months old, so I'm like, we already sleep trained her and she was doing great. She was like sleeping all the way through the night, and then all of a sudden, I don't know, maybe she's like cheating again, I don't know. But I feel bad like when she does wake up so often sometimes, like I just can't get up throughout the night. I have resorted to co-sleeping, and I feel like that's something I've never ever thought I would do. But I don't know, a coworker said that she couldn't wake up with her baby like every hour, like because her baby was waking up so often, and she was like, I couldn't even go to work, I couldn't function, so like I just had to co-sleep like in the side lying position and like switch sides like every hour when she would wake up. And she's like, that saved me because I couldn't have like gone off of that little of sleep like during the baby phase. And so once she said that, I was like, yeah, maybe I should try that. And you know what? I think Lucy prefers it, honestly, rather than sleeping in her crib. Of course she does. Of course she wants to do like a contact nap or something, but I know it's not safe, and that's why I feel guilty. But we're just doing the best we can, huh? We're just doing the best we can. So cute. I feel like she's the happiest in the morning, and she's just so playful and so smiley. It's so fun. And I just feel like her personality shines through. Anyways, I found this account called Speech Easy, and she's a speech language pathologist who works in early intervention. So like 0 to 3 with late talkers and helping kids and babies to talk and like learn new sounds and learn new words. And of course, I'm a speech therapist too. I'm a speech language pathologist, same thing. But I've never worked with kids in my professional career. Like I've seen kids in school when I was in graduate school, but since I've graduated, I've only worked with adults. And even in school, I never worked with like babies or kids that were that young, like in early intervention, 0 to 3 age. And so, yeah, I've like taken the classes and I know like some principles, but I've never had like hands-on experience. And so finding her account was like so eye-opening. She gave me so many good ideas. Like, I mean, I knew kind of some of the words to use, like to introduce to her and to introduce to Lucy, but she described it so perfectly. She called them power words, which was like really eye-opening because number one, they're words that are easy to say, like up, you know, down, open, on, off, those kind of things that are like maybe a vowel and a consonant, or you know, just like very short, simple, easy words like to produce. And they also are power words because they let the baby or toddler, I guess, they let them request something. So if they want to be held, and they can say up, and then that helps them communicate what they want and need. Or if they want the toy on, I don't know. Or if they, yeah, so it just helps them like communicate something that they want or more, you know, all of those power words that are more meaningful and allow the baby to like communicate what they need. And once they realize the power of being able to like, oh, if you say it, then you get what you want more reliably, then they're more willing to use it, I think, frequently. That's the theory. That's the thought. That's the hope, at least. And so, yeah, speech easy. And what else did she say? She was like, oh, following a routine. So she has this cute toy where like there's something that pops up, and like she goes up, 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 and then she waits for the baby to say up until like they say it. Interesting. I don't know. I can't explain it very well, but you should check out her account because she has a lot of really good tips. Anyways, the reason I bring this up is because at Lucy's 6-month pediatrician appointment, hi Luce, at her 6-month appointment, we filled out a questionnaire about like her development and all the milestones and stuff. Hi. And she wasn't quite sitting up yet. She wasn't saying like the words ma, ta, ba, like those kind of things. And she couldn't like bang 2 objects together. She had a hard time like transitioning from one thing to another. Like I answered that questionnaire, and there were some things that like I think my pediatrician was a little concerned about. And so he referred us to our local early intervention, I don't know, company. I don't know if that's the right word, but so it's called Kids on the Move where we live. And so they came out and they just did like basically a screening to see if she would qualify. And so they did a bunch of things. It was really interesting. They had like the person who did the screening and a nurse both come out, and they just asked me like a bunch of questions, and they played with her a little bit, and they like, I don't know, like they put a tennis ball, and then they put a cup over a tennis ball to see if she would knock the cup over to find the ball, and like to kind of see if she knew about object permanence and like, I don't know, problem solving kind of thing. What else did they do? I mean, they had her do a lot of mobility things, like they tried to see if she could crawl. She hasn't been crawling yet. They tried to see if she could sit up and for how long, if she could pull herself up to a stand. Goodness, what else? They like checked her hearing, and they asked about her vision and stuff. So they just did a full assessment, and then they mailed us like all of her percentiles in like each area, like expressive language, receptive language. I can't remember the other areas. Like gross motor, fine motor. Yeah, one of the fine motor skills was like she like handed her a Cheerio and saw if she could pick up a Cheerio with like the pincer grasp. Is that what it's called? I don't know if it's called pincer. I want to say pincher grasp all the time. But anyways, you know what I'm talking about, just using the thumb and like the index finger to grab something small. So yeah, they got like all of her percentiles in each of those areas, and I thought that was so fascinating. She scored, I think, about like 30 percentile in most areas, so she didn't technically qualify for early intervention. There was one area where I think she scored in like the 9th percentile, which was really low. Like they said it's mildly delayed. If she scored, I think in the 7th percentile, that's when it's like considered moderately delayed, and that's when she would qualify. So they're like, keep an eye on that. It was the area of like, they called it adaptive. I don't really know what that means, but the way I could understand it, it was like kind of like sensory things, and like transitioning from one thing to another. Because something that she kind of has had a hard time with is like putting lotion on. She hates putting lotion on at night. She's gotten better, but that was always something that would just make her cry and cry and cry. And I think that she doesn't like the sensory side of it. That's just my guess, because my husband's the same way. Like if he goes to get a massage, like he cannot stand having the feeling of the lotion on his skin. Like he has to shower like right away. So I'm guessing she has that same kind of sensory sensitivity. I don't know. That's just a guess. And also she hasn't been doing well with like puree foods, like, or any foods really, like any solid foods. She sometimes throws up and gets like a rash, and she just hasn't tolerated it very well. And it's weird because even if we try like, I don't know, oatmeal, we've tried it like 3 times by itself. Like we were like, okay, that's a like safe, easy food she's not allergic to. And then like the next week we try oatmeal again, just plain oatmeal, and then she throws up. And so it's like, I don't know why, like what's the pattern, or I don't know. Same thing with like avocado, and I don't know, sometimes we even just gave her like banana and it happened, and that's like one of her safe foods. So I just can't find a pattern. But so I think like the combination of having a hard time with solids, sensory issues, and transitioning from one event to another. Like sometimes we'll go out and have an outing, like we'll go to the playground, and then when she comes back, she'll have so much fun at the playground, like there's no problem there. And then once we come back home after like being in a new environment, she'll kind of have a meltdown. Like she'll be crying and she'll have a really hard time sleeping. Like it's like she's just kind of finally realizing like that was too much and that was overstimulating or something. I don't know. And so I think that transition is sometimes hard for her. So I think those 3 things combined made her adaptive score a little bit low, like mildly delayed. And so she's like, just keep an eye on it, and if it changes, we can always come back out and have like an OT, occupational therapist, come out and assess her. So that's where we're at with her development right now. And I thought it was so fascinating to get like her percentiles in each area. I thought it was like, whoa, that's really eye-opening. I've also been trying to budget for weekly groceries, and it's been actually so challenging. Our budget is $150 for each week. And I feel like even with like, I feel like that's a decent budget, but to feed like 2.5 people, my husband and I and Lucy, like it seems like the groceries they order is like 5 bags, and like it's pretty like minimal. I don't know, the budget isn't going as far as I expected. And so I'm trying to find like high protein foods for not as much money. And ChatGPT told me that tuna. It's like buy tuna and beans and tofu, and I'm like, okay. I don't know, I've never been like a canned tuna fan. It's kind of gross to me, but I think I found a way that I kind of like it. I don't know. If you can like canned tuna, this is the way to do it. This is how I prepare my canned tuna. Lots of mayonnaise, shredded cheese, celery, lots of onion powder, salt and pepper. And I just eat it with crackers. I do not put it on bread. I think bread is like too mushy. I need something like with more crunch to like give me a variety of texture. So this is my go-to, and one time I made it and Connor was like, what did you put in that tuna? It was so good. So I was like, must be pan. Just at the Walmart pickup, getting her groceries, doing the whole budget thing. Anyways, I was just thinking about things at work. There were a couple of things this week that I was like, wow, that's actually kind of interesting. So I am a speech therapist, but I've only worked with adults. So I work in a hospital with patients who have had like a stroke or a head injury or a neck injury, anything to do with like neurology, like brain or spine, that kind of thing. And we had a patient who had a stroke, and he had aphasia, so he had a stroke. I can't remember exactly the site of lesion. I don't know at this moment. I think it was in the temporal lobe, or maybe the Broca's area. I don't know. Anyways, but he had aphasia and he had apraxia of speech, and so he was completely nonverbal. And okay, we're gonna lock the doors because this guy is coming over. Anyways, not like a Walmart guy, just a random guy with a backpack on. Anyways, I'm like super protective now that I have Lucy. I'm like, okay, I just want to make sure I'm like aware of my surroundings. Okay, anyways, back to this guy who has aphasia and apraxia, so he's completely nonverbal, and we haven't really been able to get him to say much at all. And but during this session, we had him sing Happy Birthday, and because it's like an automatic speech task, like sometimes singing can help. It's almost like muscle memory or something. Like if you count to 10, or if you say the days of the week or the months of the year, like sometimes it's just so automatic that like the patient doesn't have to like think about it and plan the speech motor movements, and they can just say it more readily. And so another way to do that was to sing, and so we sang Happy Birthday with him, and we recorded it in the morning session, and then in the afternoon session his wife was there, so we were like, oh, we recorded this like clip of him singing, and he sang Happy Birthday to her, and like it was like Happy Birthday to his wife's name, and she just started like bawling, like she just fell apart, and she was just like it was so cute and so sweet and so emotional. I was just like this is why we do what we do. And I mean, it's not a big milestone. I mean, like him being able to say Happy Birthday isn't super useful in his life right now, but the fact that we're getting anything out of his mouth is really a win right now, and it's a success. But that was just a really rewarding snippet of my week, and I was just really happy about it. Also, Lucy was just waving at me in the car, and I was like, hi, and she's waving back. It's so cute. And it just reminded me, she wasn't waving when the early interventionist came over, but she did score actually within like the 70th percentile in social areas, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cute. Like, I'm also kind of worried. I'm like, wow, she's gonna be so much more social than I am or Connor is, because we're both like very, very, very introverted, and like I deal with like social anxiety and stuff. And so the fact that she's so social, at least at this age, oh my gosh, I think I have a booger, that's disgusting. The fact that she's so social, at least at this age, is like so cute, and like I'm so proud of her, but also a little bit nerve-wracking, because I'm like, what if she wants to hang out with all these friends all the time, or like she wants to interact with all these kids, and then I have to talk to the moms. That's the scary part.